Hey everybody. Today I just wanted to do a quick demo on building PPLs in LabVIEW. So for those of you who may not know what a PPL is, PPL stands for Packed Project Library. Essentially what this is, it allows you to take a library in LabVIEW and compile it to a single file. So all of the different VIs that might be part of that library then become a single file. But that single file also is going to include the compiled code, so that we can basically pull those into. They're most commonly used as like a plugin, right? So you could have an executable that loads various plugins that are separate components, external components, and that way I can just load them in on the fly, basically at runtime, and I can change the PPLs and I can add new PPLs, and I don't actually have to change my executable as long as it's still able to connect to what it needs to and pull what it needs to. So kind of cool. They're most commonly used, like I said, as plugins. But yeah, I can take any library. So I just have a simple library here, um, and I need to make sure I add that library to a project, which I've done. And then you just go to build specs, and it's taking a minute, but you'll just want to select a new build spec and select packed library. What it's going to do is it's going to look like this, so we can open this up. Next, you can specify the name of your build spec, so call it whatever you want. That's essentially just what's going to show up in your project there. And you also want to specify the name of your packed project library. So by default, the extension is going to be this .lvlib.p, which highlights that it's a packed project library. And we're also going to specify where that's going to build to. Next, we just need to specify basically the top level library of this PPL. It'll automatically detect other libraries and whatnot that might be dependent on this. But yeah, this top level one, we just need to include that there. And we can also add other stuff as always included as well if we need to. Here you can override certain details of these in the support directory, same as like building an exe or whatever. And then source file settings, we also can adjust those for these VIs specifically. If we want to change how they appear and behave and whatnot, we can. In your advanced, there's not as many options now. We can enable debugging if we want, and build log and future version. That's basically it. So there's really not very many options. Additional exclusions, we get the same exclusions we get when we're building an exe. Basically, yeah, disconnecting certain things that aren't used and whatnot. We have this connector pane state, which is new for PPLs, which basically says colors adapt at runtime to the exported VI connector pane state. And this by default is checked, which you typically always want to leave it checked, but there's times when you don't. You got your version information, and that's about it. So let's close that out. And I've already gone ahead and built this. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So if I open this up, it opens just like any other library, but you can notice that there's a lock on this project. And I can go open these VIs, but you can see I can't see the block diagram. So I basically have the VI, but it no longer can be edited. It can't be changed, but I can use this in projects. So I can basically pull this PPL into different applications to leverage them. It also becomes helpful when you create like reuse code that gets used across a whole bunch of different projects. I can basically set up all my reuse code, build it into a PPL, and now I don't need to worry necessarily about revision controlling this and whatnot. It's basically in a frozen state. I've created this compiled thing that works, and it's kind of frozen, right? And then I can always roll a revision and build an updated PPL, but basically at that snapshot, it's frozen in time. So it definitely helps with kind of dependency management, version control on those dependencies and whatnot as well. But yeah, this is basically what I get. And then I can use this in LabVIEW. I can use it in a LabVIEW exe. I can use it wherever I want. So yeah, that would be building PPLs in LabVIEW. Thanks for watching.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.